Hey, what's up, guys? It's Russo, and it's Tuesday, Taco Tuesday on Prizepicks, and today is February 4th. We've got 7 games on the NBA schedule, and we have a couple of games in primetime that I'm excited about. First of all, my Suns and Clippers are playing. I actually just really enjoy when these games are on primetime, this one's on TNT slash HBO Max or Max. That's going to be the late game at 10 o'clock. Can't wait to just sit back and enjoy that game. Going to put together some slips probably just for that game later on. And that's an important game because the Suns are really trying to fight their way back into even the play-in. And we've got about a month and a half left of basketball. So things are really starting to heat up a little bit. And, I'm not going to keep saying that I've been saying don't sleep on the Blazers, but the Blazers have a chance to make the play-in as well. And if the Blazers sneak into the playoffs, look out. They are playing really good ball right now. Let's see. And then we also got the Golden State Warriors and New York Knicks playing the other game on the primetime slot. So let's talk about yesterday. I do have 4 picks for today. Yesterday, man, honestly, I feel great about these reads. Took Denny Avdia over 28 points, rebounds, and assists. He goes for 19 while going 3 of 14 from the field. I can't make these shots for these guys. I can only look for opportunities. He got 33 minutes. The minutes were there. He goes 3 of 14, 0 of 4 from beyond the arc. And then Malik Beasley, 33 minutes. So he got more minutes than he typically does. And then he goes 6 of 17 from the field. We were talking about he's averaging like 4.8 made threes a game, and he went 3 of 14. Dude just kept shooting and was not hitting anything. So nothing we can do about that. These guys, Denny Avdia goes for 19 PRA while having a terrible shooting performance. They still crushed Philly. And then, Beasley still goes for 15. One more bucket would have cashed it for us. Just one more of those 14 threes that he put up. If he could have just got us 4, or even just one more regular bucket. But we're going to keep going. Draymond Green crushed his PRA over 22.5, went for 35. Desmond Bane absolutely crushed his rebounds and assists over 11.5, went for 20. So he had a huge game. And you could have taken his PRA, you could have taken his fantasy score, you could have taken anything of Bane yesterday. And man, what a wild game. 130 to 132. They just barely lose. So let's talk about what's looking good for today. Let's get into it. I'm doing 1 unit flex, 1 unit power, coming off of a loss yesterday. Just going to dial back the units a little bit, be responsible with the bankroll, and try to build it back up a little bit today. So we're going back to the tried and true Zion Williamson over 34.5 PRA against LA. I'm going to go Bol Bol in this primetime slot, 17.5 PRA. And then going Cam Thomas, guard for the Brooklyn Nets, 21.5 points, rebounds. And then we're going back to Brook Lopez, and we're going to take the fantasy score again. I'm really feeling this. This will be his first time going head-to-head against Atlanta without Portis in the lineup. So we're gonna try to capitalize on this defense again with the fantasy score. If you guys don't mind, do me a favor, like the video, drop me a comment. If you have questions about plays, I'll help you figure it out in the comment section. Just hit me up with the players you're looking into, and I will hop on Outlier, hop on Daily Grind, do a little bit of research, and get back to you. So, and obviously it really helps me with the algorithm. You guys have been too kind to me, so I really appreciate it. And I do have some exciting news that I'm going to be dropping at some point. Going to do a little bit of upgrades to what I'm providing and branch out a little bit. So I can't wait to share that with you guys eventually. So let's get into it. So Zion Williamson, I'm going to go with this PRA here instead of the fantasy score, because I do believe his fantasy score, his fantasy score is not up yet. It might be, but it's not showing on Outlier. But either way, this 34.5 is a nice lower line for what we've been getting. And I know LA is playing good ball right now, but I feel good about him getting this done. So he's done this in 3 out of his last 5 games, coming off a couple of heaters where he went for 48 and 39. Everything's been heading in the right direction for Zion. I thought that his minutes, this game against Phoenix that we took, and he went for 31.1. and he absolutely popped off. I was kind of expecting like, okay, we're going to start seeing like 35-ish minutes, but hasn't been heading in that direction, and they don't necessarily need it to. Like this game against Utah was great, but just 29.4 minutes is all he needed. They've got it done, 128 to 121. Over this 5-game stretch, still averaging that 29 minutes, which we'll take it. Still heading in the right direction. Been playing just elite ball, man. 62% from the field, 16.4 attempts, 11.4 rebound chances, 15.4 potential assists. That's wild. He just needs his guys to hit his shots. I mean, he's trying to facilitate because he's drawing so much attention and he's dishing it out, but guys got to make their shots. Like 22 potential assists against Phoenix, turn that into 11 assists. Then he goes for 26 potential assists against Utah, and he goes for 9 assists. So the dude is playmaking, and we know for fantasy score, if you do take it, you get 1.5 points for every assist. So that really stacks up. That starts to make it worth it even beyond the blocks and steals. So yeah, let's take a look at a little note from Outlier here. He's exceeded 34.5 points, rebounds, and assists in 6 out of his last 7 games for his bottom 10 defenses for assists allowed. So in these types of matchups, he's averaging 40 PRA, right on the dot, 86% over his last 7 games. In these types of matchups, he's getting it done on just 27.7 minutes, and we know that's been kind of been trending up. But in these types of matchups, 58% from the field, he tends to be shooting a little bit more, 18.9 attempts, averaging 10.9 made buckets. Still not, he just doesn't really shoot threes. Getting to the line a decent amount though. Here, 62%. He's got to, up that a little bit. That's kind of embarrassing. But 6.3 attempts from the free throw line, 3.9 made a game. And then 12.4 potential assists, 12.6 rebound chances. So the matchup, 11th in points allowed, 2nd in rebounds allowed, 7th in assists allowed. So a little bit tougher on the rebounds and assists, but middle of the road when it comes to points. But I mean, if you're facilitating at a rate of like 26 potential assists, those are going to start hitting even if you're in a tough matchup. And then the rebound chances, it's Zion. I'm not really concerned personally. So let's look at the head-to-head here. I mean, it's the Lakers, so we got to take it a little bit seriously, playing on the road. So this is from last year. He hasn't played them this year yet, so it's kind of hard to gauge, but he has a good history here against the Lakers. 3 out of his 5 head-to-heads, he's got it done. And then his most recent outing, he dropped 40 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists. Now, we can't dive in too much and get too excited about that because it is a different roster. But still, I mean, a good history there, and he's been playing great ball right now. Let's take a look at the injury report for tonight. So he might have Brandon Boston back. We have a game time decision. That could definitely help with the assists because Brandon Boston is a solid shooter. I'm still waiting for this guy to break out because he, when he played with the Clippers, he had some moments where he was just absolutely hot, shooting deep, way beyond the 3-point line and just cashing. So I'd love to see him get his opportunities and be a little bit of help there for Zion. So we have Luka Doncic game time decision. Rui Hachimura is out of this game, which actually does help because he's a pretty solid defender. Although most of his specialty on defense, in my opinion, is around the 3-point line, getting out there and contesting threes because he's pretty athletic. So Zion's not shooting threes as much, but still, they're down a solid defender against Zion. And then LeBron James game time decision, as usual. Maxi Kleber is still out, and then Austin Reeves game time decision. We'll see. We get game time decisions all the time with the Lakers. But let's see what Daily Grind thinks about Zion. All right, they like his rebounds and assists over. I don't blame him. He could do that on either of those alone. 11.5, that might be solid if you guys want to take that. 52.91% odds to hit the over -132, and they love the PRA right up there. 52.71% odds to hit the over -131. They like his fantasy score over 41, so it is available. Did it just go away? No, it's still there. So yeah, if you want to take the fantasy score, you could take that too. And then there's this rebounds combo that they're liking between LeBron James and Zion Williamson, over 14 together, 51.88% odds to hit the over. But yeah, the PRA and the RA are what they're loving the most. So you love to see it. We do have some platforms starting to bump him to 35.5. I had a feeling as soon as I saw 34.5, I'm like, you just got to take that. So hopefully he gets us started off on the right foot, and let's get a cash tonight. Let's get this sweep. So Bol Bol, I could just go on and on about how much I love Bol Bol and how I think that he should have gotten these opportunities a long time ago. And it's like, do you need me to put on a suit and go coach the Suns and give Bol Bol some minutes? Because it's been ridiculous that it's taken this long. But nonetheless, he's getting his opportunities now. So let's see. You see the correlation here? As soon as the minutes started popping up, you see just all this green popping off. And I talked about this before, but his efficiency with rebounding the ball is just so awesome. I'll show you one more time. So you got little situations like this. So 11 rebound chances, he grabs 8, 6 rebound chances, he grabs 6, 3 rebound chances, he grabs 3, and then 14 rebound chances, he grabs 11. When this guy has an opportunity to get a loose ball, he gets it. He's lengthy, he's very athletic, he's very I don't know if elusive is the right word, but he's very loose out there for being such a big dude. Early on when everybody was like all about Wemby and Wemby coming into the league, we've never seen a player like this. I remember Shaquille O'Neal was saying like, you guys are saying that there's never been a player like this, and that's not true. And they're like, who else? And he's like, Bol Bol. And I was like, yes, Shaq. Yeah, people are sleeping on Bol Bol. Not saying he's the same as Wemby, but he does not get enough credit. So anyways, 4 games straight of hitting this. Let's look at the matchup specifically against the Clippers. Probably going to be a little bit tough. Clippers are good. First in points allowed, fourth in rebounds allowed, and then 21st in assists allowed. I still think that he's just like a little bit too big of a matchup, even if you are solid in those positions. The dude is hard to guard. So over this 5-game stretch, averaging 23.8 minutes, but that's down quite a bit because of this game over here where he only had 7 minutes. So we'll just call it 25. That's his lowest game with his minutes all the way up. And that's probably a more accurate reading of what he's averaging, between 25 and 28 minutes. During that time, though, shooting 66% from the field on 8.8 attempts, averaging 5.8 made buckets. Dude has been hot from beyond the arc. 4.8 attempts a game, knocking down 50% of his threes from beyond the arc. And some of these are even crazier. Like we got this game over here against the Pelicans where he shot 63%, put up 8 threes, cashed 5 of them. His most recent outing against Minnesota, he didn't do as well. Only shot 20%, but I think he'll bounce back. 7.6 rebound chances and 1.2 potential assists. But he's been kind of trending up with he's not really the guy who's going to be dribbling the ball a lot and setting up a play. He's usually like a catch and shoot or a catch and, attack the basket. But he's capable of getting us a couple of assists here. So 17.5 for everything altogether. I'm feeling really good about it. So Outliers got a note about him failing to exceed 17.5 PRA, but I'm not even going to get into it because we did that last time. It's really just talking about all these games where he was getting like 5 minutes, so it's not really that relevant. Let's take a look here at Daily Grind. They like his blocks and steals, so maybe his fantasy score, if it's available, might be interesting. Over 1.5, they like him over as the best play. 52.65% odds hit the over minus 133. Did the PRA bump on us already? 18.5. Well, I mean, I still like it at 18.5. I've already got it locked in at 17.5, but they're not feeling the 18.5. Looks like maybe everybody's moving this up a little bit. Yeah, we got 18.5s all across the board. 51.64% odds to hit the under minus 125. The only reason I think that the optimizer's not liking it is because there was a bump recently, and so it's recognizing like, hey, this is not as good of a value as what you could have gotten before. So a lot of times if there's a bump recently, it'll start favoring the under. But go with your gut. They like his points assists. Maybe that's one of the lines that hasn't bumped yet. 12.5 points assists, 50.13% odds to hit the over minus 121. Not feeling his points rebounds. What is his points rebounds set at? 17.5? What did I get? Did I get the PRA or did I grab the PR on accident? No, I got the PRA. Okay. I mean, I still like the PRA at 18.5 versus the PR at 17.5. It's a 1-point bump for his assists. He's gotten that in at least one in every single game. And then more recently, he got 2 assists and 3 assists. And he's got a really soft matchup for assists, 21st in assists allowed. So yeah, I'm feeling it tonight for Bol Bol. The Suns need to win. They're going to lose their opportunity to get into the play-in. So every win is really important right now, especially in the West against another team in the West. So let's keep it moving. Cam Thomas, excited about this play tonight. He's cleared it 4 out of his last 5 games. Nothing significant to talk about injury-wise. Overall, the matchup is soft against the Spurs, 20th in points allowed, 28th in rebounds allowed. And then if we go over to shooting guards, a little bit tougher on points, 12th in points allowed, 23rd in rebounds allowed. But yeah, I'm really a big fan of this dude. And I think he's yet to break out. Because we've seen him have some breakout games in the past, but I'm waiting for him to get back to that. He's shooting a lot, so we love that. Over the last 18 attempts, shooting 42%, and then 7.8 threes attempted on average over this 5-game stretch, 31%. So 2.4 made threes a game. And then 8 rebound chances. He's a little bit deceiving. He's not like the biggest player, but he actually does get in there and try to get rebounds. So 8 rebound chances, even though he hasn't converted it like a ton, he does have these spike games where he went for 6 rebounds, 7 rebounds. So 21.5, especially with a softer matchup here, 23rd in rebounds allowed. I think he should be able to get it done, averaging 25 minutes. We'd like to see more than that tonight. But let's take a look at this note here, because this is pretty crazy. So he's exceeded 22.5 points and rebounds in 14 straight games for his bottom 10 defenses for rebounds allowed. So we know that we got this soft matchup for rebounds. In these types of matchups, he tends to go nuts, averaging 30.3 points rebounds per game, 100% hit rate over 14 straight games. So this kind of green is what we love to see. In these types of matchups, he tends to get a little bit more minutes. Let's see, I know some of these are going to be from, so some of these are older. Like this is like the most recent game is January 2nd. So this is, kind of a different situation. He was getting more minutes here, averaging 34.9 minutes across this stretch here. But 20 attempts, 47%, 34% from beyond the arc, still 14 straight games averaging 2.6 made threes, and then 8.2 rebound chances. So pretty consistent across these games and what we've been seeing lately. So I would like to see him get a little bit more minutes tonight. Let's look at some of these over-unders because I forgot to. We'll start with this Nets game. All right, so 227.5 over-under for the Nets and the Spurs. Spurs favored by 4. And then we talked about Bol Bol, 225.5 over. Just 225 over under. Clippers favored by 3, playing at home. And then for Zion in this Lakers game, 228.5 over under. Lakers favored by 8.5, playing in LA. All right, let's get to Brook Lopez and we'll get out of here. So yeah, he's cleared this in almost 5 straight games. 4 out of his last 5, just barely made it against Dallas, and then just barely missed it against Miami. 29.3, very close there. One more anything would have cashed it. So the main thing about Brook is this situation with Bobby Portis being out. He's been playing really good ball without him, and let's take a look here. So he's actually exceeded this in 5 out of his last 6 games. And if we take a look, zoom out a little bit, you can see right on the 20th is when they started playing without Portis. And he's played without Portis in the past, but this has been a different situation since the suspension. And Brook has really taken a step forward here. Let's look at these last 5 real quick. So averaging 51% from the field on 11 attempts. And then we know he's a better shooter than this. He's only shooting 27% right now, but still 5.2 attempts, and he's averaging 1.4 made threes a game right now. Getting to the line a little bit, he's a good shooter when he gets there, not getting there that often, but 86%, 3.8 made free throws a game. Averaging 33 minutes, 33.3, and then 2.6 fouls, not really getting into foul trouble, which is great because he is actually very active on defense. Take a look here. So yeah, the reason we want to look at the defense is because this is fantasy score gold. So every block, every steal is worth 3 points, and the outlier showing his blocks and steals line is at 2.5. They have it at a minus 145 to go over. So if they're that confident that that's going over, that's 9 fantasy points right there. So I actually think he could have a better outing than that tonight. Because if you look, the matchup, 25th in steals allowed, 16th in blocks allowed, We go over to the center position, and it's even better. 21st in steals allowed, 20th in blocks allowed. This is a really high over-under in this game, so that means there's going to be a lot of scoring and a lot of opportunities to score. So a lot of attempts going to be going up. 241 is the over-under. The only one higher than that is this Chicago-Cleveland game, 242. But 241, super high over-under, a lot of shots being taken. That means a lot of opportunities for blocks, a lot of opportunities for steals with the possessions, just high possession game. So the Bucks are favored by 7 playing in Atlanta, and Atlanta is coming off of a back-to-back, if I'm not mistaken. So he's not ever done this. Well, he's had, you can see he's had good success defensively. But he's not cleared the fantasy score against them. If we take a look here, they've got that line right where his sweet spot has been. But he's been beating this fantasy score regularly over 4 out of his last 5. This is just right on the edge here. But the difference is Bobby Portis, like I mentioned at the top, if we take him out, they've got no head-to-heads to compare. So I'm banking on the fact that this is going to be a different situation for Brook, and I think he's going to be able to get this done, and he's going to have to be very active on defense. I expect him to do well with this fantasy score, and I think other, like outlier, like I mentioned, they have his 2.5 blocks and steals at a -145 to go over. So that's super juice to go over. So go with your gut. I know his PRA at 21.5 is what seems to be popular on Prizepicks. But I want that defense attached for this. And the PRA looks good, don't get me wrong. Speaking of the PRA, 21st in points allowed to centers, 13th in rebounds allowed, 13th in assists allowed. So he's got soft matchup for points and middle of the road for rebounds and assists. So yeah, I'm feeling good about it, but I definitely just want that defense attached if there's going to be this many possessions, this high scoring of a projection. So that's kind of my reasoning behind it. Let's take a look at Daily Grind and see here what they think. Just taking it a minute. All right, they like the PRA over. They've got that at a 51.36% odds, hit the over -124. I don't blame you if you'd rather take that. You always got to go with your gut. I'm here to provide information to help you guys make a decision. I'm not saying these are locks, you'll be able to buy a yacht if you take my picks. Like, no, that's not me. But they're not feeling his rebounds. They have the 5.5 favored to go under, 50.96% odds hit the under. And then they like his points over. They like his rebounds and assists over. Do they have the blocks and steals on here? They do not. Let me refresh it one time and just see. Yeah, so we're not really, they're not catching any defensive stuff and giving us a read on it. But you do have some pivot options. They like his points, they like his PRA. They're not showing the fantasy score. They like his RA, and they like his points rebounds. So I love defensive scoring with fantasy score. So I'm going to be going with that. He has a good history there with the blocks and steals in the head-to-head. And like I said, this situation without Bobby Portis, Portis was in all of these games and he was still this active on defense. And this is from multiple years, but his most recent outing was on February 7th. And Portis was in that game, but he still went for a steal and 2 blocks. Time before that, 2 blocks, 3 blocks and a steal. So I just think that I'm hoping my boy gets after it tonight. So if you guys want to check out this optimizer from Daily Grind, it's a killer tool to help you make decisions. It also just puts stuff on your radar. When you don't have a player specified that you're looking at, it'll just show you across the board like this. Let's see. Devin Vassell, they like his PRA over 21.5. They have it heavily juiced, 54.33% odds, hit the over -139. It just is looking for discrepancies. So it's looking for something like Andre Drummond, 12 RA. They like that, 53.81% odds, hit the over -138. And what they're looking for is, you can see the optimizer's scanning all of these platforms, and it's like, okay, there's only 2 platforms that have this that they can recognize, and it's at 12.5, and you're getting it at 12 here on Prizepicks. So they're loving this, especially because looks like these are favored to go over. At least one platform has a favor to go over. So it's crunching numbers like that. It's collecting data and quickly within seconds processing it and sending you like, hey, here's a discrepancy, there's a discrepancy. That's how the optimizer works. Outlier is more about data, history of plays. This is a little bit more what I enjoy. But I use both of them. I love both of these apps, but I just love getting into the details with Outlier. So if you want to try Outlier, you can sign up through the link below. You don't have to put in a code. Just sign up through the link below, and they'll give you a week to check it out. And then for the optimizer, dgfantasy.com, code BACKDOOR will get you 25% off. You can lock that in for as long as you want. So all the way up to a year. But guys, I really appreciate you tuning in. Can't wait to share the news with you guys eventually, just kind of working some stuff out. And then I will be talking about some of the changes that I'm going to be making to my channel. Nothing significant, nothing's going away. I'm just going to create a little segment here that we'll have some fun with. So appreciate you tuning in. I'm probably going to add the next play to that streaks slip on Underdog. If you guys did take that I think it was like 2 days ago, I started a new streak slip. I posted it to the community section of the YouTube, so make sure you're subscribed, turn your notifications on, because I post plays on there as well. But I'm going to look for another play to keep that streak slip going today. Seems like a good opportunity. So yeah, if you guys want to tail that, make sure you're subscribed, go to the community section, I'll drop it over there. But appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like the video, drop me a comment, and I'll catch you in the next one.